What is up, NFL fans, and welcome back to another episode of For Your Viewing Pleasure. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Wesley Coleman. What's up, Wesley? How's it going?
It's going really good, man. Got made it through Thanksgiving, getting towards the end of the year, week 15. Kind of
Yeah,
we're close to the end. Having said that, I don't want to forget about the playoffs. So there's a lot of football left. We got a few
absolutely.
months, but we're really starting to, I think, figure out who some playoff teams are.
And this is such a week to week league. It's like the perfect show because really we're just basing it 1 week at a time. We're not making like wild projections or anything like that. We're going to talk about the whole slate of games coming up in week 15. We're also going to dive into the AFC and NFC playoff picture in this episode. But as we always do, let's start off with the primetime matchups. We start with a Thursday night game. NFC South Falcons at Buccaneers. Tampa Bay coming off of a tough loss to your New Orleans Saints. Buccaneers are giving 4.5 here with a total of 44.5. What do you think about this one?
I mean, the Buccaneers and Panthers now have the same record. The Buccaneers have the tiebreaker with them for the division lead, but this becomes a big deal. The Falcons would love to upset anybody in the division. This is a closely watched division that everybody hates each other, I think, as much as any division rivals do. And Atlanta, who's eliminated from playoffs, would love to be the reason that the Buccaneers are not in first place, and then later this year when they play the Panthers, they'd love to be the reason the Panthers aren't in first place.
Yeah, if Tampa Bay can't win this game at home, they have no business of winning the division, in my opinion. They have no business of being in the postseason. And, this is very similar to the AFC North. We'll talk about that and what's going on there. But the Buccaneers, it's right there for them to take. The Falcons are not good. And so
It,
you would
it
think they would win this game.
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's week 15. Everybody has dealt with injuries this year. I think the Buccaneers have been hit particularly hard. One, they have a few good running backs. Bucky Irvin is definitely their top running back, and he's been out for most of the year. He came back this last week. Did leave with an injury, but came back again later in the game. And then Mike Evans being out, Chris Godwin being out. Emeka Egbuka has been great, but relying on a rookie wide receiver to be wide receiver one. Also, Egbuka in the last couple of weeks has finally had a couple of drops and stuff like that, which he didn't have early in the year. I think this is a long season for him. This is the most football games he's ever played in a 12-month period, and I bet he's worn the heck out. So it's been tough for them. And of course, Baker's been hurt. After starting off with an MVP caliber beginning to the year.
Mike Evans did have his 21-day window started to return, I believe, so he should be back.
He's expected to play the Thursday night game.
Oh, very good. So I think that's a big boost. I would take Tampa Bay covering the 4.5. You agree or disagree?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. Let's go to Sunday Night Football. Sorry.
What you've been looking forward to, huh?
Minnesota. And Minnesota's coming off of a big win last week on the Dallas Cowboys. This is in Dallas. The 5-8 Vikings, the 6-1 Cowboys. I'm shocked this game wasn't flexed, to be honest with you, because they had to do that 2 weeks ago. I know Dallas was still hanging around, and they still are hanging around. But Dallas is giving 6 points here. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I think that probably this is another one of those that when they made the schedule, they're like, man, this week 15 game against Minnesota and Dallas, everybody's going to be scrambling for it. We're going to look like geniuses putting that game there. And then probably 2 weeks ago, Dallas goes and wins the Thanksgiving Day game, and they look like and then they beat the Lions, and it looks like they're kind of going to start rolling. So it's it's probably looked better than it was supposed to. But Minnesota's done okay, but like JJ McCarthy just doesn't look like the quarterback of the future. Like he's got to show a lot in these last few games for them. I think for them not to get a different quarterback before next year. You can't have Justin Jefferson force his way out or Jordan Addison force his way out because your quarterback's terrible.
Yeah, when Justin Jefferson's publicly saying, like, yeah, this year's been really tough. It's been bad. I don't blame him. You're having to catch passes from either essentially a rookie or Carson Wentz, or Lord knows what that guy's name was that played 2 weeks ago when JJ McCarthy was hurt again. Dallas, though, clinging to any prayer of playoff hopes. Do you think that it's done? Do you think that they have any chance?
I mean, Philadelphia losing like kind of teases them a little bit because they can't make the wild card. Dallas is looking back on that week 1 loss to the Eagles as that when they definitely should have beat the Eagles as just huge, terrible game for them. The Eagles don't really have a tough go of it to end the year. So it's going to be tough for Dallas to make up a 2-game.
Yeah. All right, let's transition to Monday night, a game that I was hoping would be flexed. It's not going to be flexed, and that is
I think everybody's with you. Everybody agrees, Jeff.
The Miami Dolphins travel to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. The 6-7 Dolphins versus the 7-6 Steelers. But this is a game that the schedule makers might have said, I don't know what this is going to look like, at least earlier in the season. And then at least Miami's starting to play better. They're winning some games. They're playing really tough. Pittsburgh coming off of huge wins against Baltimore. They're definitely banged up, as they typically are when they leave a game against Baltimore. The Steelers are just giving the standard home 3 points in this game. What do you think about this Monday night game?
I think that if you told the average person that the Dolphins have a chance of being 500 if they win this week, or they're going to be 500 if they win this week, they'd like blink multiple times, just not understanding what you said.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, and me and you've talked about this, where the Dolphins had a rough go of it. They had a couple of eggs, but like even games that they were losing, they were scoring decent points and like making plays. They haven't been just an awful team. And I think that's probably kind of one of those teams that's fighting for pride and probably a coach's job and stuff like that, that a team like the Steelers, who's kind of wobbling on with a couple of flat tires, this isn't who they want to see right now. Is a team like this that's kind of motivated, has nothing to lose, and is just kind of go for broke. And a team that can run the ball in the colder weather too.
So you have the Dolphins have won 5 of their last 6 games.
Crazy.
And they've won 4 in a row. They lost to the Ravens on Thursday night. This was a couple weeks ago, but then they beat the Bills. Then they beat the Commanders. I believe that was in Madrid, and that was not Jaden Daniels. I believe that was Marcus Mariota. Then they beat the Saints by 4. Then they beat the Jets. I'm not trying to crap on the Dolphins, but it's not like they're beating the
it's not a murderer's
best.
row.
No, it's not. The Steelers, however, have been a roller coaster ride the entire season. They'll beat teams you think they have no business beating, and then they lose games where you're thinking they have a legitimate shot at winning. I cover the Steelers closely, and I have no idea what to think about this team every time they play. I don't know. I will say this. If the Steelers beat the Dolphins on Monday night, it'll prove a lot to me, because they should beat the Dolphins, in my opinion, on Monday Night Football at home. If they lose this game, I know that they're in first place at the AFC North, and the Ravens have a tough schedule to finish out their slate of games. I think it's done. You got to win this game. You cannot drop this game. You can't come off of that win against the Ravens and lose this one. I don't know. Any final thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really important game, I think, for like the career of Mike McDaniel and the career of Tua. This is a really important game for Pittsburgh. I think both teams have to go out and win it, and I think that nobody should watch it.
Oh, come on now. I think this might be
it's such an important game.
This might be the saving grace for the primetime slate.
No, I mean, maybe.
I mean, we have an NFC South matchup on Thursday night, Vikings Cowboys on Sunday. This might be the coup de grace, so to speak, of the primetime slate, but that's not the best games. Let's talk about some must-watch games coming up. There are some good games on the schedule. I'm going to go first. I'm going to steal your thunder. Bills Patriots, 1:00 Sunday. That's a great game. Bills are coming off of a big win over the Bengals in the snow at Orchard Park. This game is in Foxborough. The Patriots are 11-2, coming off their bye week. Man, this is a good game. What do you think? This is Buffalo's giving 1.5 points. They're giving 1.5 points.
So yeah, and I'm pairing this one. This is a super important game for both teams. Buffalo's got to try to be at the top of the wild card. They definitely want to be the 5th team, because whoever is the first team in the wild card gets to go to Pittsburgh in the playoffs. So they're definitely everybody's going to be fighting for that spot. But you may not realize this. I'm going to pair this with another game that's a must-watch. New England is in 2nd place in the AFC because they don't have the tiebreaker to the Denver Broncos, and it's based on conference record. Well, Denver's only tough game the rest of the way is this week against an NFC opponent. So even if Denver was to lose, if the Patriots lose another game, Denver would still hold that tiebreaker. This is a really important game for AFC dominance and for getting a bye week. for the Patriots. They have to beat the Bills. They have to keep pace with the Broncos in the AFC's calendar, because the Broncos are hosting, like I said, the Packers. So both of those teams, those games together, really important for all four of those teams. Also, the Packers had a huge win against the Bears last week. Big for them. They come into a tough game this week against the Broncos, and then they play the Bears again.
Yeah.
Well, during this week, while they're playing the Packers are playing the Denver Broncos, the Bears are playing the Browns, and they're going to win. So the Packers really need this game to try to win the NFC North. This is a huge game for them. These two games, all four of the teams need to be incredibly motivated to win.
The lines here are someone's drunk. I swear they're drunk.
Yes.
I mean, the Buffalo Bills on the road giving 1.5 to the Patriots. What is that? And then you talk about the other game, which was going to be a must-watch game for me if you didn't bring it up, was the Packers are giving 2.5 in Denver at Mile High. What is going on? That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm guessing that this has just got to be denial of the rookie. This is late in the year. Can the rookie and Drake May's not a rookie, but the second year young quarterback that's a lot of people are calling the MVP favorite right now. Well, if you don't know that Matthew Stafford is a player in the NFL, he's up in the conversation. Is this where he hits a wall? This is late in the year. Yes, they're 11-2. That's incredible, but can they kind of keep this rolling? I'm sure there's a lot of that.
Okay. Another must-watch game that I have is Lions-Rams at 4:25. You just brought up Matthew Stafford and his potential MVP candidacy. 4:25 Eastern Time kickoff. The Lions in LA, 8-5 Lions, 10-3 Rams. The Lions have been up and down. They've been dealing with injuries. And this is a game that in the NFC playoff picture, they got to have it. And you look at the NFC West, and this is it's tough. 10-3 Seahawks, 10-3 Rams. The Seahawks are playing the Colts, who knows if Phillip Rivers is trying out for the Colts, by the way. So that tells you everything you need to know about their quarterback situation. They can't lose this game. The Rams, that is, unless they want to give up that first place. What do you think about Lions-Rams?
Yeah, the Rams need to get back to a level of consistency, because 2 weeks ago they lost to the Panthers. And that, if it wasn't for that, then I think they'd be on 8 wins in a row. So you just throw that loss to the Panthers, you're like, oh, well, are they this consistent team? Can they lose to anybody? Detroit's definitely fighting and been doing well since they kind of had, I guess they did lose to the Packers, but they've kind of had a rocky time of win-loss, I think, for the last 9 weeks. I think they've been on win-loss. They haven't won 2 games in a row since week 5. So big deal for both teams. Just looking at it, I expect the Rams to try to make a statement here. The 5.5 line actually kind of makes sense to me for what I'd expect there.
Give me the Lions getting 5.5.
You like that?
I think it's going to be close, but I mean, the Rams pulled away from the Cardinals, but early in that game, that was a pretty close game, and then Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua just went berserk.
Yeah, the Cardinals are a team that'll fight anybody. Can I just? It's we're talking about a ton of games, and we're just ignoring the Chargers and Chiefs. Are the Chiefs that dead?
They're about to be.
Are the Chiefs? I mean, are the Chiefs really? Are we going to in Week 15 talk about the Chiefs playing the role of spoiler? Not to try to get themselves into the playoffs, but just trying to have the Chargers.
Well, can you believe that the Chiefs are giving 3.5 at home as a 6-7 team against a 9-4 Chargers team?
No,
that's insane. Like I said, these odds are drunk. What is going on? Like, it makes no sense. I'm not saying that the Chiefs shouldn't be giving points at home. I think they should, but to be giving more than 3, even if it's just 3.5, doesn't add up. The Chiefs' offensive line is completely decimated with injury. They lost another player to a season-ending injury. I don't know. I think they have the janitor out there playing tackle. So it's one of those situations where that the Chargers are coming off a short week, an emotional win, overtime win over the Eagles, and then they got to go to Arrowhead. That's tough. What do you think about that game?
Yeah, I think the Chargers are going to put the stamp on it. I think Patrick Mahomes ends up having a good game because I think he's good enough, and he's not going to have, he's got the second most fantasy points for any quarterback in the league right now. Even after he's had a couple of bad games, he's had some really big games. I think this is a game where he comes back and plays well, but I don't see the Chiefs winning this game.
I always, I mean, in all teams, and especially when you talk about a dynasty style team like the Chiefs, you wait for them to bounce back. And then eventually you don't expect it anymore because you think that they're okay, they're actually done. I think they're done. Do you think they're done?
I mean, you mean permanently?
Well, no, just this season. Like, do you think their
This
playoff
season,
hopes are
yeah,
dead?
yeah, they're done.
Okay.
Just the teams in front of them have much easier schedules. I mean, you're talking about they would have to catch the Chargers, Bills, or Texans, and I just don't think they can catch either any of those three teams. I think they can, if it was just the Ravens and Colts and stuff like that, I think they'd be fine. But they've got to go a lot farther than that.
Hey, they have to if they have any prayer, they have to beat the Chargers this weekend. Have to at home.
If 4 weeks ago I would have told you, man, week 15, there's this game on the schedule. It's the Colts and the Seahawks. And for week 15, that's going to be a huge game. You would have been like, heck yeah, that's going to be an exciting game between the Colts. The Seahawks are favored by 13.5 now.
Take the Seahawks, giving the points.
Things have changed quite drastically for the Colts in that time frame.
Like I said, Phillip Rivers is trying out, and I'm not making this up. This isn't a.
Yeah, I know he has not played since 2020.
Yeah, like this isn't a story from The Onion. This isn't.
They really should call Derek Carr, or call the Saints about trading for Derek Carr. That would, if he's interested in playing, which he said earlier this year, the right situation will make sense. The reason that one would make sense is because they don't. Now with Daniel Jones out, they don't have a quarterback for 2026 either. So if you come in, they've got a winning record right now. You're close to the playoffs. So you take them to the playoffs, you play a playoff game, you could be their quarterback in 2026. And so,
if only they could trade for Joe Flacco. Well, let's take a minute to take a look at the NFL playoff picture, because I think this is it's appropriate. And we've been talking about this a little bit, but we need to start looking at it a little bit more in depth. Go AFC, then NFC. Let's look at the AFC first. I think it's wide open in terms of the seedings. I think they could change a lot. You already mentioned the Broncos are in first overall, 11-2. The Patriots are second, also at 11-2. The Jaguars are third at 9-4.
Like everybody expected.
No. And then you had the Pittsburgh Steelers at 7-6 in the fourth spot. Then we go to the wild card. The Chargers are 9-4 after their win on Monday Night Football, so they moved to the fifth spot. The Buffalo Bills are sixth at 9-4, and the Texans are seventh at 8-5. On the bubble, you have the Colts at 8-5, the Ravens 6-7, Chiefs 6-7, Dolphins 6-7. Bengals are still clinging to life at 4-9. So if the playoffs started today, the Broncos would get the bye. The Patriots would host the Texans. The Bills would go to the Jaguars, and the Chargers would go to the Steelers. What do you think about this?
I think the thing that sticks out to me right now with this is the Texans are gonna make it in the playoffs, and if they just make it as a wild card, defense travels. Yep. That is, nobody wants to play them. It just takes one long catch from Nico Collins and a couple of long field goals, and you're in trouble with that team, because expecting to score 17 or 20 points against them's a lot right now. I just think that's kind of just starting at the bottom of the playoffs. Right. Now, can the Texans are one game behind the Jaguars. That can definitely flip, and then you've got the Texans being a home team, which again, I just think that becomes scary for any team. So there's still going to be a lot of movement. I think there can be here.
There's going to be a lot of movement, but what's crazy is there is that huge drop off of 8-5 Colts. Then you get into the 6-7 teams. There's not a lot of in between there. So we'll keep tabs on this as we go. Let's go over to the NFC side of things. Now you have the Rams are first place. They're at 10-3. Packers are second at 9-3-1. The Eagles remain at third at 8-5. The Buccaneers at 7-6 are fourth. Then you have the Seahawks at fifth, the first wild card spot. The 49ers at 9-4. The Bears at 9-4 round out the top seven. But then you get to the Lions at 8-5. The Panthers at 7-6, the Cowboys at 6-6-1, and the Vikings are still clinging to life at 5-8. So if the playoffs started today, the Rams would be on a bye. The Packers would host the Bears. That would be intriguing.
Yeah.
The Eagles would host the Seahawks.
49ers.
And the 49ers, and then the Buccaneers would host the Seahawks. I think there's going to be a lot of movement in the playoff seedings in the NFC as well before all said and done.
The one that you just said, it's not crazy to say that all three road teams would win those games.
I agree.
Like and in two of them, I think the road team would be favored. So I think the Seahawks and 49ers right now might be favored over the Bucks and Eagles. I guess the Eagles would probably get the home field a little bit of a bump, but I don't think they'd even be favored by 3 in the playoffs. And Packers and Bears, we talked about, play each other next week. The Rams and Seahawks play each other next week. That's going to be a big one. The Seahawks are going to have to win that because the Rams finished the season against the Falcons and Cardinals, which is, I mean, we would expect winning games for them. So it's I don't know. There can still be some movement here as far as the NFC West teams and the NFC North teams.
Well, the funny thing is, everyone was all season, leading up to the last 3 weeks or so. Everyone said the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC is going to go through Philadelphia. Nope, it's going through LA.
Well, their second choice was Detroit, who's not in the playoffs right now.
I have a feeling they will be, though.
Yeah, it's not crazy. I mean, listen, Detroit can go from out of the playoffs to winning their division and being the number 2 seed. That's not. I mean, crazy what can happen.
All right. Any final thoughts on the playoff picture before we look ahead to some sneaky good games?
I mean, I like that the intrigue in some of this is division winners and stuff like that. And then in a few of them, we've got second place teams in their division are not going to make the playoffs. Some will be wild cards. We have some third place teams right now that could win their divisions in multiple divisions. So I think it's exciting. I like that these, and we'll have some division games here in the last month of the season that one are, lots of bragging rights for the teams, your opponents that you hate, but also, I mean, it could make the difference between knocking somebody in and out of the playoffs.
That's true. Very good point. All right. So what are some any sneaky good games that are on the docket that we haven't talked about yet?
I don't know that we didn't talk about, if the Bengals had won last week, this Ravens-Bengals game would be so big. It still could be purely because
this is still going to be a fun game to watch, though.
It's still going to be fun, but at this point, the Bengals need a whole lot of things to happen to make the playoffs. They're not eliminated yet. I mean, it's not going to happen, but they would certainly like to beat the Ravens and make it to where the Ravens aren't going to make the playoffs. They've already had their 2 games against the Steelers, so they don't get to play spoiler with them anymore. But they'd love to be the reason that the Ravens are Absolutely. 2 games behind the Steelers.
The Steelers have to win. That's the tough part there.
What about you? Any games that you're?
I'll tell you what. I hesitate saying this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Bears hosting the Browns. I want to see what Shedeur Sanders looks like in Chicago. He looked better against Tennessee, but it's Tennessee. It's Tennessee. And there was a $9 ticket there last week. So at the same time, I'm kind of curious about this Browns offense, and they're sticking with Shedeur Sanders. I don't expect much, but I am curious. I'll say that.
And I'll just say, for this late in the year, so a team that's really bad, like the New Orleans Saints, if they win this week against the Panthers, which they beat the Panthers a few weeks ago, they're just Saints are 3-10. If they beat the Panthers, that'll be a 2-game win streak. They'll have won 3 of their last 5, and then they're going to finish the year against the Jets, Titans, and Falcons. I know I'm not predicting the Saints are going to win this game. I think that the last one was kind of fluky. It was weird. But if they win this game, they could definitely win the last 3 games, and you could be talking about a team going on a 5-game win streak to finish the year and being a 7-win team, which is kind of crazy to think about for a team that's been number 1 or number 2 in the projected draft. 7
wins would screw you in that regard.
Yeah, we'd go from a few weeks ago and being number 1 overall to we'd be drafting 11th.
Yeah. All right, you can only watch one. Which one are you choosing?
I clicked off the page.
Jeez.
Man. I like the Detroit Rams game. I think that's Detroit's fighting to get back into the playoffs. They could still win their division. That might be the last hurrah for them. I mean, it would be tough for them to lose this, depending on who wins the other games.
I'm gonna go Bills Patriots. I'm gonna call it right now. I think the Bills win.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I will go Bills. All right, dud of the week. So that means Jeff gets to try and pick the 3 cheapest tickets in the NFL for Week 15. Okay. This is tough. I'm going to say that one of the tickets that is cheap is going to be Jets Jaguars.
Jets Jaguars is not in the bottom 5.
Wow, so they're behind the
The
Jags.
Jaguars fans are coming along, and it's
They are behind the Jags.
probably one of the only warm weather games of the week.
All right, I'm going to take a flyer here. Commanders and Giants.
Yeah, that's your second lowest price ticket. It's you can go to a Giants game in New York for $28 a ticket.
Jeez, that's crazy. And Panthers Saints is my third guess.
I just told you that the Saints were looking to win 2 games in a row. They're looking to be 3 of the last 5, go on a win streak. Why would you think that the Saints?
I don't know. Is it the cheapest
$13 tickets? Yeah, it's the lowest ticket. It's a $13 ticket.
Do you think we'll ever beat the $9 last week with Tennessee at Cleveland?
It can't. I mean, what? Like that's crazy.
We're gonna have a $5 ticket. Like that's insane.
I mean, having said that, I just told you that the Saints are going to be playing the Titans and the Jets over the next few weeks. Yeah, we'll
see. We'll see.
We could get pretty cheap with some tickets.
What's the other one? Because I didn't get the third. What's the third cheapest?
Yeah, man, it's Minnesota at Dallas. How crazy is that on a Sunday night game? Minnesota at Dallas at $41 ticket. You do have Baltimore at Cincinnati's a $42 ticket, which I'm guessing is just going to have to be because of the super cold weather. But
let's have some fun. What's the most expensive ticket?
It's we guess. There's one that's considerably higher than all the rest. Get this. There's 2. There's 2 that are over $300, and then
New England.
Besides
Buffalo?
that, all the rest are under $200.
Is New England Buffalo one of them?
New England Buffalo is the second highest price ticket. You can the cheapest one's $300.
Holy shnikes!
The other one surprised me. That's the second highest. The highest one surprised me. You're never gonna get it. It's a surprise.
Okay, well, who is it?
Green Bay at Denver. $317 is the cheapest ticket in that.
Oh my gosh, $307.
That's crazy
That
to me. Yep. I mean, Denver's in first place, though. I mean, I'm glad the fans are getting into the hype and whatever and wanting them to. I mean, Green Bay's a good team, so this will be
yeah.
But out of those 2, those are 300 and 317. Not another ticket above 200. Like those 2 are way above.
What's your dud of the week?
I mean, every game kind of has like one good team in it. I mean, it'd have to be Carolina, New Orleans. I mean, I'm guessing because at least the other ones like have somebody in the game that's worth something. Washington, New York, maybe.
Jets, Jaguars. The Jets are
Jaguars.
Giant. Tell me a redeeming quality of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
They're going to be a home playoff team. They're going to host the home playoff game.
That doesn't matter. Tell me something redeeming about the Jaguars. Is it their quarterback who seems very mediocre? Is it their weird as hell coach? Like what is it that's redeeming?
Their 2-way player Travis Hunter that hasn't played in 2 months
that they traded up to get in the draft. Oh my gosh. All right. It's been a good show, man. Tell us what's coming up for you guys on the Dome Patrol.
Well, we're getting nervous about getting out of the top 10 in the draft. This is crazy. The national media is loving Tyler Shuck because his highlights, he has like 3 good highlights every week, and everybody's only. I watched the other 40 plays, so I'm not super hyped yet. But you can find us. You can find me on X at who.wesley13. You can find the Dome Patrol on @Dome Patrol PCast. You can find the Dome Patrol podcast on all of your streaming platforms. Jeff, where can we find you and your Steelers coverage?
You can find us at the Steel Curtain Network, wherever you get your podcasts. Search Steel Curtain Network or steelcurtainnetwork.com. You can find me on Twitter at jhartman, HARTMAN_PIT. But that's a wrap. That's a wrap for another 4 reviewing pleasure. Wesley, enjoy the games this weekend, man. We'll talk next week.
Thank you. See you next week.
See you.